All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Glen and Corey show. It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Very long time.
Feels good to be
Oh,
back. Got a little bit to touch on. Today it's going to be mostly transfer news between the basketball NBA free agency and European football transfers. It's been a pretty busy summer in
yeah.
that regard. So yeah, let's just jump right into it here. Glenn,
Okay.
want to start us off with some NBA free agency news?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start with the DeAndre Jordan debacle. I guess that's what we can call it. Um, that was quite entertaining for a while. I remember I was on Twitter. Twitter blew up for a couple hours regarding Mark Cuban, the Mavs owner, outside Jordan's house and stuff. Well, originally, for people that don't know, DeAndre became a free agent this offseason and he agreed to some 4-year, $80 million contract with the Mavs. And then he slept on it for a couple nights and decided, wait, Chris Paul's really good. Maybe I want to continue playing with him. So he changed his mind last second and didn't even tell the Mavericks.
Yeah, a little shady.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, definitely his right to do that, I would say, but at the same time, definitely ethically and morally, just a bad move on his part.
Yeah.
Especially going forward, it really kind of shows you what kind of person he is.
Yeah, I mean, I heard he didn't even thank him. The first time he thanked him was over Twitter the following morning.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't believe that. Like, I get changing your mind, but at least be professional and make a quick phone call or even a text, not over Twitter.
yeah, and I heard he was ignoring his cell phone,
Yeah,
just sort of letting receiving the calls and just kind of ignoring them. So.
yeah,
As a young man, it's maybe just sort of a learning curve, but definitely could have gone about the situation differently, in my opinion.
yeah. And I've been thinking to myself, I can't wait for the Clippers to go into Dallas and play.
Oh, it's gonna be.
That'll be pretty interesting.
So who do the Mavs sign? And
They're still kind of figuring that out. They ended up signing Wesley Matthews, who was the shooting guard for the Trailblazers. He was injured right before the playoffs. A great player. He actually ended up signing for more money because they didn't sign Jordan, which works out for him.
mm-hmm.
And then they traded for a center from Milwaukee. I don't know if you know who he is, of course, Zaza Pachulia. He's no DeAndre Jordan, but they had to fill that role, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, what's kind of sucks is, I mean, DeAndre Jordan agreeing to go to the Mavs sort of set off a domino effect around the league. A lot of other transfers taking place and a lot of other sort of moves happening. So
Yes.
that's something that was interesting to me to hear about because it's something you do think about. But for me, I mean, I'm not the biggest and most knowledgeable basketball fan, so I think that was, I was like, wow, you know what? I'd be really upset if I was DeAndre Jordan, or if I was like David Lee or got traded and moved around, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he screwed over the Mavs. The Mavs could have possibly gone and got somebody else 2 weeks earlier, But
well, it's definitely be interesting to see, like you said, when the Clippers go to Dallas. That'll definitely be a good one to watch.
yeah, that stadium will be quite interesting. I want to see what Mark Cuban's reaction is when Jordan walks up to him and tries to say sorry or thank you.
No, I mean, Mark Cuban is notorious for being in the players' ears and always in those floor seats, right there next to the bench. And
yeah, I don't want. That's one guy I don't want to have to deal with.
Mark Cuban's the kind of guy who's ballsy enough to, he doesn't care. He'll go probably right up to DeAndre Jordan and say something to him. So
$25,000 fine ain't nothing. So
no, nothing at all. The other big name for the the free agency rather, is LaMarcus Aldridge going to Spurs.
Yep, he was the moving chess piece, I guess you'd call it. Jordan was going to wait to sign to see where he signed. Robin Lopez was going to wait to sign where, it was all and he ended up making the right decision, I think.
For sure, yeah.
He was also looking at the Suns reportedly had a big chance to get him, and then back with Portland. But I don't know, man. We were just talking before the show. The Spurs are just
they look real strong.
Yeah,
and
I want to just fast forward to them and the Warriors, Western Conference Finals.
For sure. That's going to be a good battle. And then after that, I mean, really that's, in my opinion, one of the only teams that stand in their way to the NBA Finals is that Warrior team.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think the Thunder are going to be a hell of a threat too for at least one more year. Hopefully Durant's healthy. Let's pray. But
before Durant comes.
Yeah, people forget how good he is. But also one thing that goes the Spurs also did, they signed David West. You know who he is, Core. Played for the Pacers. Middle-aged guy, plays down low, like all just super tough. The Wizards were actually trying to get him too. He was due to make $12 million next year in Indiana, and he turned down $10.5 million to play in San Antonio. He only signed for $1.5 million.
Really?
Yeah, he turned down $10.5 million. Nobody's ever done that for 1 year. You can tell he wants to win.
I mean, that seems like a ring-pursuing move.
Oh, yeah. I know. And I hope it pans out for him. Like, I just hope that works just for that. $10.5 million, $11 million. I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of speaking of making it to the NBA Finals, you know, waiting for either the Spurs or the Warriors will no doubt be the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes. Yep.
Who haven't really had too much of a big free agency period. I mean, other than kind of two obvious re-signings in my opinion of LeBron James and
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, right? So
LeBron was saying he wasn't going to re-sign until he saw what the Cavs or GM or management was going to do. They re-signed Love, which he likes, but they still haven't re-signed Tristan Thompson. He's huge on. He loves Tristan Thompson. They still haven't signed him yet.
Right.
So they're going to, I think. I just don't. They're also linked to Joe Johnson. Kind of. There's rumors he's going to stay in Brooklyn, but that's a lot of money. He has 1 year. He's worth a lot of money, and then they're still kind of linked to Jamal Crawford, who we were talking about before the show. Their luxury tax is going to be almost as much as their salary cap.
I was listening to ESPN Radio the other day and heard about that.
It's like $100 million. It's like $105 million you're gonna have to pay in luxury tax alone. The owner is. I mean, it's gonna be worth it. I think they're gonna win the championship. I guess right now, if I had to say, but I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see who else they go out and get because they're linked to everybody under the sun. Even D Wade, he just signed. But
yeah, I heard about that too. Actually, I was wondering if
it's crazy.
Kind of pull off the impossible and bring D Wade, but
before you go, I heard one time somebody said LeBron should be MVP, Player of the Year. I mean, MVP, Coach of the Year, and GM of the Year because he does it all.
Definitely.
He goes and tells ownership who he wants, and they go out and get him. It's like
definitely. Yeah, and I had originally heard that LeBron James was going to hold off to sign until they had offered Tristan Thompson or something like that. So, and then LeBron's manager and Tristan Thompson's manager are the same person.
Yes, they're good friends too. Yeah, so you're exactly right there, Cora.
Yeah,
I think they must. LeBron just signed last week, but they're going to re-sign Thompson. They must have promised him that or something.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Something because putting all his chess pieces in right.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to European football. Definitely the best time of the year, in my opinion, is the transfer window. One of two. The other one's obviously in the winter, but the summer transfer window is when really things get going and pieces start moving.
Yeah, it's my first time really paying attention to it, but it's quite interesting.
It's extremely interesting because, I mean, in American sports, I mean, you do have windows where players can move and shifts can happen, but not like in European football.
I mean, there's more teams. Yes, yeah, I completely agree.
There's just huge names moving all over. I mean, and that's really every transfer window for the most part. So most notably, I mean, let's just start with the Premier League here. Manchester United.
Yeah.
They needed some big moves and they sure pulled them off. I mean, Bastian Schweinsteiger was
that's going to be. I saw a lineup on Twitter today of their projected lineup right now. It's absurd. I mean,
yeah, I had a friend of mine. He texted me that Manchester United should be now known as the Schmidfield.
That's pretty good, actually.
And Schweinsteiger.
I like that.
And then of course, I said back to him. So if they had signed Wesley Sneijder, who they were rumored to get, especially with the coach, Louis van Gaal being, the Netherlands national team coach at one point, I said they would have the full Pokemon transformation of a midfield with Schneiderlin into Schweinsteiger. So it's almost as like.
That's pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
So, But yeah, it was a great signing. I think they look really strong. Honestly, I'm not sold on their defense still, and they definitely need a striker up top. But huge signings, huge signings. I mean, they really are making a statement because they have had a really terrible time after Alex Ferguson left. So I think they really make a statement this
Yeah,
season.
like Memphis Depay, just forgot about him. I mean, holy
Yeah.
heck.
Yep. And he's gonna be terrorizing the Premier League.
Yes.
So
Here it is. I got the lineup right. Yeah. Schneiderlin, Rooney, Schweinsteiger in the midfield. Ah!
they got Mata sitting behind them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to that, but
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, for those who don't know, we're Arsenal fans.
yeah.
Arsenal made a great signing with Petr Cech.
Need more though. It can't be the only signing, as we were talking before.
We definitely need some more signings, but honestly, I think that's really a piece of our lineup that was sort of letting us down.
Definitely.
And John Terry said when upon the Petr Cech signing that Petr Cech's worth about 15 points a season. So you add that 15 points onto where we finished last season, and we
win the league pretty handily.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we definitely need a world-class goalkeeper, and he's just that. And he's got some fire in his eyes because he sat on the bench last season. So,
and then we're also linked to as we were talking before, Vidal.
Yep. I think that's Alexis Sanchez. Put a bug in his ear.
Yep. Up left, like you said, and then Sanchez out right.
Mm-hmm. That's what's interesting to me is, so he plays out wide for Juventus. So I was originally thinking that he would play in the center, which we really don't need, honestly. But if he was to play out left, Alexis Sanchez out right, Cazorla and Ozil in the middle, probably Ramsey sitting. Yeah, we look strong. And our midfield is so deep. The only thing I'm not sold on, we need a striker. We need a world-class striker.
I saw we've been linked to Benzema, as we talked earlier, and I also saw Lacazette, but that's also just how strong that is.
So in my opinion, Madrid are looking for a striker. Most notably Sergio Aguero. If Sergio Aguero goes to Madrid, I think Arsenal sign Benzema. We've been linked to him for a long time. He wants to come to Arsenal. He likes the culture here. He likes the style of play.
I didn't know Aguero was linked to Madrid. How is that?
It's
just a rumor, or has there been?
It's a rumor right now. I mean, they've always been looking at him, but it's a rumor just because he's a lock as a striker.
That's true.
Strong. He's fast. He fits that style of play.
Yeah, there aren't many better.
The transfer season is full of rumors. Some of them true, some of them not. But we'll see. I mean, I like to think it's true because in that scenario we end up with Benzema. So
yeah, and Man City loses Aguero. Exactly.
Madrid got rid of Iker Casillas. 25-year career there.
I can't believe that he was like crying and oh my gosh,
really sad.
It is. They kind of forced him out, didn't they?
Yeah, and they did him in a really dirty way. But that definitely shores up the fact that David De Gea is going to go to Madrid. I mean, it's not confirmed, and De Gea is going on the U.S. tour with United. But I mean, the writing's on the wall. You're not going to get rid of Iker Casillas. I mean,
exactly, and not have somebody right there behind him to sign. I mean,
yeah, and they want him. They want him really bad. Now it'd be interesting. I was talking to a friend earlier who was saying that he doesn't think – he's a United fan. He doesn't think that that United sell De Gea to Madrid without either Varane and Ramos along with some cash. So one of the two, either Ramos or Varane for De Gea and some cash. But Ramos
has been linked for a while now.
Yeah, and Ramos was just made Madrid captain today. So it's interesting. I don't know what the heck's going on, but
maybe they did that to try to keep him.
Yeah, they may be trying to keep him. Chelsea hasn't really done, too much. They signed Asmir Begovic today.
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Stokes back up. Well, Stokes' first team goalkeeper. So he's basically taking the place of Petr Cech, which don't know, if you're Asmir Begovic, it kind of sucks because you're going from first team football to surely riding the bench for the whole season, maybe playing makeup games. But they've been linked with Pedro from Barcelona. Cesc Fabregas has been talking to him and has convinced him to come. What we were talking about earlier was the Falcao move to Chelsea, which
you see it as a lot better than I do. Well, I'm also looking off of just his season last year in Man U, and you're looking at his past with Jose Mourinho and Costa and others.
Yeah, he and Jose Mourinho have actually they're kind of a strangely close relationship, but I mean, former teammates with Diego Costa and Felipe Luis and Thibaut Courtois. So I think he comes into Chelsea and fits comfortably. And
like I said, I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, trust me, I do too. I mean, I think he fits scarily comfortably. I think because
he's still only 29. I mean,
yeah, he's still young.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like the beginning of the end of his prime, but I mean, he's still got some.
Yeah. If anybody, Mourinho can get it out of him for another year or two, if anybody can. So.
And Sterling to Man City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing he's going to be trying to decide is where he's going to sit.
I disagree.
Who's he going to sit next to?
Yeah, we kind of talked about this before. Navas had a good year and all, but I think he's going to get just as much, if more, than Navas once he gets acclimated in.
Yeah, he definitely needs that period to become acclimated because he's good and all. I mean, he's pacey, but English players tend to have a good season or like get all this hype from having a breakout year, and they go for all this money and there's all this promise on them, and they're gonna be the next savior to English football, and they're gonna go to this club, but it just doesn't pan out. I mean, you rarely see. I'm a little biased, but you rarely see an English player have a breakout year and then continue to thrive, in the way he is, because the English media piles all this pressure on that player, and they're. So I think that's just another case of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, Raheem Sterling he's sick. He's a great player. He's really, he's promising.
That midfield's pretty loaded right now.
Yeah, they're loaded. I don't think he's a missing piece to a title-winning season. But hey, I could be wrong. That's literally just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, there's a million other transfer rumors we can discuss.
Really. Well, let's talk about the Turan to Barcelona.
Yeah, that's another solid signing, which kind of caught me by surprise. I was hoping he was going to come to the Premier League, but I don't know. I've never been a. This is going to be weird to say because it happens all the time in English football, but I guess in other leagues, I should say, I'm never a fan of players going from
rival almost.
Huh?
It's almost like you went to a rival.
Yeah, it's like I'm never a fan of teams in other leagues going to their rivals. In the Premier League, I mean, the games are pretty solid, where anybody can beat anybody on any given day. But in Spain, there's
not in that league.
There's Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Sometimes Sevilla's up there, but and in Germany, you got Dortmund and Bayern. So when players go from each of those teams, they're really just like kind of, it's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, good for Barcelona. That's a great signing. He's an awesome player.
That also affects where Pogba's going to go now, as we talked earlier.
Where Pogba goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Pogba goes.
He claims he wants to go to Barca or Real, but Barca's not going to happen at least for a year or two.
Yeah, and they're also on that transfer ban because they.
Oh, it's so funny. I saw now that you bring that up, Cor. I saw a link on Facebook the other day. It goes, players Barca has signed during transfer ban, and it's like Neymar, Suarez.
Yeah, it's like
it's like how does that happen?
Who are way expensive, and they're
world class, and they're on a ban. Like what the heck?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know where Pogba's going to go. I love seeing players come to the Premier League because, I like to watch them, and I think that's where they get the best competition. I mean, don't get me wrong, the teams in the rest of the world are great, in the German league and Italian league and Spanish league, but and even the French league, because I know PSG's looking at him very very hard. They've been rumored to even be close to signing him, but
That'd be great.
I don't know. I like seeing players in the Premier League because I think
Me
that's
too.
really tested week in and week out.
I don't know where it'd be cool with Pogba Premier League, but that's not going to happen.
So I don't see any questions from any viewers, but did you have anything else you want to add, Glenn?
That's all I have on my schedule here. I mean, off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, we decided to do a short show today. It's been a while.
Yeah, we'll have to do at least one a week. We can at least try to, squeeze it in.
Yeah, there's just since it's been so long, there's literally a lot to talk about. So we just decided to take this opportunity to talk about just some transfers going on, basketball and football. So, but yeah,
football season's come back up, and soccer's picking up, so we'll have plenty to talk about to continue. But we'll definitely have to do more shows.
Please, guys, continue to watch and
sorry for the delay.
Sorry for the delay. We had some.
Yeah, Corey's in school, and
I
finished school and work, so.
Yeah, we just and also feel free to write in and comment, and if you'd like to be on the show, by all means, feel free to email.
Easy as heck. Yep.
But yeah, thanks for watching and take care.